Hello guys, one more time and welcome back to another video with the Bitblond or Emily Rodriguez, the craziest blonde in a word about crypto, perhaps in the universe. Before we get into any content, I would love to do my quick disclaimer. None of this content is a financial advice. You must do your own market research as always. Today, the Bitcoin price is at the new all-time high. And if you tell me it's not a great time to reinvest into cryptocurrency or to reinvest into Web3 projects, I don't know when you consider a great time to be an investor in these markets. Okay. However, I'm still on my sweet position and I'm not leaving until we hit my target price. Let's have a look together. First of all, on that one, let me share my screen with you. Let me know in the comments down below if you can hear me, and let me know, guys, how are you doing these days? I mean, I think you're doing amazing, right? It's so much going on today. Let's straight away to the Bitcoin price first, currently at 121,000 per Bitcoin. Jokes aside, it's a great opportunity and great time to be in crypto, and perhaps we could go a little bit further, somewhere around 130k, because you never know when we have these parabolic moves. People be selling and it couldn't go really really well, so be careful. If you are selling at this moment, I would definitely just sit and relax. However, Bitcoin against the fiat currency is one of the best investments on the market. You don't see that with your bank return of 2 to 5%. However, they give you, I don't even know, if you are holding Bitcoin, like, as cryptocurrency people, you probably be making a lot of profit at this point. And I believe Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's one of the greatest one compared to our current economy scenario, in a word. And however, let's share the SUI USDT. And I called SUI at 240 on my Telegram, and I'm still holding this position. I wasn't that sure when we had this retracement, but I was like, you know what, I am going to wait. And I made a previous video here explaining why, and I'm still holding because we have support and resistance, and sometimes it could flip and go a bit further, because what happened is when Bitcoin stopped the rally, these altcoins are going to go absolutely crazy. But now I am not the girl who's going to tell you go heavily in this or that. Find something that works for you. I've been trading Sui with a lot of passion for the past 3 weeks even, so I deserve it so bad. Sometimes can take up to 3 weeks to close an incredible good trade, and this is going to be one of those good ones. And however, on a long term, I do have a lot of altcoins, a lot of different opportunities, but I'm talking on a trading side of Sui is looking absolutely good, and you must join our Telegram so then you know things on time. However, guys, find something that works for you. I know it's a lot of conspiracy going on Twitter today. I know everybody's going to be like, oh, buy this, buy that, long this, long that. Find something that works for you. I always tell you that. Just do one thing that works for you that gives you 100x, and that's it. You don't have to catch the entire crypto market. It's a lot of coins. You might be lost. However, moving to today's top news according to Cointelegraph. And let me know if you can hear me by any chance. The BTC price is in crisis mode at 123k. Five things to know in Bitcoin this week. Bitcoin price tailwinds are accelerating as the new all-time high start the week. A major US debt crisis begin pricing, and wow, Bitcoin BTC makes history as the third of the week of July begins above 120k per coin. BTC price strength shows no signs of reversing at 123k, appears for the first time after the weekly close. The July gains remain standard in percentage terms despite the giant US dollar figures. US CPI week dawns with a cloud hanging over the fate of the Fed Chair Jerome Powell. The US debt walls are driving Bitcoin relentlessly higher, analysts says, and the whole situation is anything but normal. Bitcoin dominance is showing weakness, and altcoins are more than happy to pick up the slack. Bitcoin traders eye the next BTC price top levels. Celebrations are everywhere this week as BTC USD passed 120k for the first time in a giant surge higher. All-time highs now sit at 122.600 with the weekly candle locking in 10,000 of upside data from Cointelegraph's Market Pro and TradingView confirms. And here we've got the Bitcoin 1 hourly chart sourced by Cointelegraph and TradingView. After 2 months of consolidations, price discovery came thick and fast, but commentators are already wondering how much fuel is left in Bitcoin's tank. Oh my God, these people. It's taken 44 months for this massive cup and handle pattern to develop on the BTC chart, and the price is now just 2% away from the target I identified in May 2024 when the cup first formed. Keith Allen, co-founder of Trading Resource Material Indicators, wrote in a post on Next. Allen acknowledged that a lot has changed since that Bitcoin is in a completely different place as the macro asset. Hence, I believe the price will go higher before we reach the cycle top, he added. And I have to, kind of agree with him. I do not expect Bitcoin to retrace, and that is something very, very funny. And here we've got the screenshot of BTC USD, 1 week chart sourced by Keith Allen /X. Among traders, upside target likewise appear limited, with popular Pody Bitquant sticking to 145k goal. So he's actually betting on a bit longer than me. I was like, I think we could stop at 130, but as the entire world like to buy things when he's actually up, you never know. And Bitcoin posted coming soon to 145k on BTC price and mentioned BTC is going to hit 135k in a Q3, fellow trader Cass Abbey said. A strong weekly close above the 107.7k was needed and happened last week. After that, the BTC pumped 10,000 in just a week and is still showing no signs of exhaustion. I think a rally to 120k followed by some consolidation and then a pump to 135k is highly likely. And here we have the fib extension example and a screenshot from the BTC USD 1 week chart sourced by Kaz Abi /X. A July like any other question. While impressive in the US dollar terms, percentage gains for BTC USD add some much needed context to the rally. Bitcoin was up by just under 14% in July, making its performance fairly typical. And Cointelegraph posted on next bullish Bitcoin is forecast to hit a new all-time high in July as historical data shows that strong risk asset return this month. BTC has never lost over 10% in a July in the S&P 500, posting gains in the 10 years in a row. And data from CoinGlass shows that July has spawned gains of more than 20% in the past decade, while the Q3 performance has been even more varied. August, on the other hand, frequently ends up a red month. But what a red month will look like, 100k? Jokes aside, here is the BTC USD monthly returns sourced by CoinGlass. The book of price performance tends to occur sooner than rather than later in this month candle. The phenomenon is also true of other assets beyond crypto, including US stocks. July tends to be a strong month, but most of these gains happen the first half of the month. Ryan Detrick chief market strategist at Capson Group, wrote about the S&P 500 on X this weekend and mentioned no end of the word stuff here, but some consolidation at some point the next 2 weeks would be perfectly normal. The first half of July tends to see most of the gains, and here is the screenshot by S&P 500 performance sourced by Ryan Detrick /X in a separate post. Detrick noted record gains for the S&P in May and June this year, while drawing comparison to 1087, the year of the Black Monday crash in October. And Ryan posted the 11.4% gain on the S&P 500 this year in June is the largest gain even during these historically weak months, 5% and higher in both months only 9 times. Incredibly, it has happened the past 3 years. Yes, 1987 is here. But all in all, this isn't a reason to turn bearish. And here we have the screenshot. If you want to, you can go and take the screenshot yourself and go to every single detail, and data seems to be very accurate as always. The CPI week comes as Fed Powell face calls to resume. A key week for the US inflation data sees the June print of the Consumer Price Index (CPI) and the Producer Price Index (the PPI) under the microscope. Initial jobless claims and June import price add to the mix, with speaking appearances from senior Federal Reserve officials throughout this week. And Cointelegraph posted updates the US CPI and the core CPI data will be released on Tuesday. What's your prediction? Question we all want to know, and loads of people replied. 2 weeks out from the Fed's next meeting of the interest rate, inflation data is gaining weight for the market. Sentiment still indicates that rates will not come down before September, as confirmed by the CME Group Fed Watch 2, and you can see the screenshot here by Fed Tag Rate Probability screenshot sourced by CME Group. At the same time, the Fed Chair Jerome Powell, who was maintained in a hawkish economic stance, is under increasing pressure to do so by the US President Donald Trump. I called him too late. He's always too late, Trump told reporters on July 13, referring to the pace at which Fed cut rate, which he says should be the lowest worldwide. Wow, you telling me that he's going to quit? I hope he quits. But he should quit because he's been very bad for the country. Trump continued. As Cointelegraph reported, some Fed sources have revealed openness to the lowering rates this month, including from Vice Chair for the Supervision, Michelle Bowman, who will take the stage again on Tuesday. US debt sparked Bitcoin crash mode. And I just want to comment on the entire US fucked up situation. I'm sorry, people. I do have family there. And the entire scenario, it's just crazy. And the more problems the government has, let me tell you, the better is for cryptocurrency. We are not the same. And people sooner or later will realize that, even knowing that we follow US stocks sometimes. Look at the current situation in the United States of America. People clearly don't know how to run their countries. Behind the inflation debate, a bigger US macro thing is taking shape, one that analyses linked to the Bitcoin or performance versus other assets this month. The US the deficit is ballooning, with May representing the third highest monthly figure ever at 316 billion. For all the buzz over the trade tariffs and renewing expenses, the US continues to fall deeper into debt. as shown by its record national debt figures. So here we have Bitcoin hitting the all-time high and United States hitting the all-time low. And you can check the usdebtclock.org. Analyzing the situation, trading sourced by the Kibesi letter did not mince its words. This is not a normal. We have reached a point where Bitcoin is moving in a literal straight line higher. It's summarized in an X thread on Monday and mentioned rates are rising. The US is down 11% in 6 months, and crypto is up 1 trillion in 3 months. What's happening? Bitcoin entered the crisis mode. And I'm gonna ask you, hey girl, how is your trading career going? Oh boy, I literally lived to see these things. I'm not wishing anything on top of anyone because if you are a great trader or a great investor, you always make benefit on top of war, crisis, and so on. But it's just good. It's just good to see Bitcoin winning. Um, and yes, guys, the Kabasi highlighted 2 weeks, two key, inflection points for the Bitcoin, the US dollar weakness, the April reciprocal tariff delays, and Trump big boot for bill passing this month. And it seems that Bitcoin was a rally on trade deal hopes. It continued and mentioned, but whether trade deals were announced or not, the market was seeing the same outcome. Yields are rising, Bitcoin is rising, the US is falling, and gold is rising. This is simply not a normal situation. So they are clearly a bit on panic to see, cryptocurrency taking over. And here's the US dollar index 1 week chart. And, I don't want to be pessimistic, but I think just my personal opinion, not financial advice. This country is in a massive shit. Global macro tailwinds have long been typed to benefit BTC, with M2 money supply entering the new territory early this month. Cointelegraph new global M2 money supply hits new all-time high of 55.48 trillion. Will Bitcoin follow? Question. I hope so. And the battle for Bitcoin dominance heats up. Bitcoin dominance of the total crypto market cap is changing course, and with it, hopes that altcoins will capitalize on the gap left behind. And after touching 66% at the end of June, BTC dominance has fallen below 65%, briefly hitting 1 month lows before rebounding. Bitcoin presence is crucial stage as a Cointelegraph reported. Historical pattern shows that once dominance reach around 70%, its uptrends reverse, giving away to what's popular known as alt season. And crypto says, I think so, yeah. He posted once a BTC.D Bitcoin dominance stops, he will see Saturn run like crazy. Make sure to position yourself wisely. A few months can literally change your entire life. And I agree. So far, this cycle has given alt traders precious little relief. I know BTC dominance has taken a hit, but I think dominance will be higher by late October, similar to 27, 29 to 2019, 2023, 2024, etc. Benjamin Cohen, founder and CEO of analytics sourced into the cryptoverse, predicted this week the trader and analyst Red Capital Nautilus seems that some early signs of the turnaround. The Bitcoin dominance merely dipped minus 2.5%, and plenty of altcoins are struggling performing. It doesn't take much, he argued this week, and mentioned one can only imagine what will happen when BTC dominance finally experience double digit downside. And here we have the screenshot of the Bitcoin dominance 1 day chart sourced by Cointelegraph and TradingView. And the commentator Matthew Highland held similar ideas. BTC dominance hasn't even his knees and odds are reaping, he told ex-follower last week. On a weekly time frame, several major altcoins stand out. beating Bitcoin gains. These include the largest altcoin, Ethereum, up nearly to 20% in 7 days to return above 3,000 for the first time since February. And here we got the screenshot of Ethereum USD 1 week chart sourced by Cointelegraph TradingView. And yeah, I think Ethereum is gonna go up as well, finally retesting 4,000 even a little bit further, hopefully. But yes, guys, as we see, with all these comments, Bitcoin is taking off and US dollar is taking down. And the question is, are you ready for what's going to come next? Because this is just a very, very beginning of our current world reset. And I dare to say, you must know that, okay? And yep, I hope you liked the video. However, I'm still holding my position on Sui, and it might be time to start looking for altcoins. And you know what to find them at cryptobubbles.net. Go to um the 7 weekly time frame, okay? So you can see actually the 1 week, and buy low, sell high, and if you do the opposite, be careful. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to join the Telegram where I share more about cryptocurrency. And yes, it's just a great time in crypto, and I hope that we finally make it. All right. And do not be desperate. Always know what you're doing. Just do something that works for you. Find one or two opportunities that you can make a lot of profit, and that's it. Peace. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.